video, I'm rolling with Sal. Sal is a 57-year-old blue belt at the school, and he claimed he was the oldest student because he didn't realize Donnie from the white belt is 59. He's kind of like a bull. I would describe his jiu-jitsu. He really comes at you, and at some points you really feel like you're riding a mechanical animal. As you can see, that brings me joy. So here I'm just staying on top of him. I might have rolled with him once a long time ago. I really didn't remember anything about his game or anything. So here I'm just feeling him out. I'm giving him a chance to escape. And that was a really explosive movement, to say the least. There, he sensed I was starting to isolate his arm. I think when you look at this roll, a lot of it comes down to anticipation. You know, we all know the moves after a certain point, but how well are we able to anticipate and link the responses together? So here I go right into S-mount. I feed myself the collar. I go under his arm. This is my favorite loop choke. But I'm not really applying it. If I really wanted to, I would fall back and cross my legs. I would wrap my legs around him. So I'm giving him the chance to get out, which gave me the kimura, which I'm not ripping. As you can see, I'm smiling. He grabbed his belt. I'm not looking to put a lot of effort into it. If I did it at a time that was proper, it wouldn't need a lot of effort. So here I'm just riding him out. Now he's more defensive about his collar. He's holding his own collar. He's trying to... But really, you want to just fend my hand off, like right there when it came around. So now he gave me that choke twice, which is, it's just a hole in his game because I'm not even thinking any deeper than that. When he gives it to me, I take it. If it's not there, I don't. So that's a very common response. So when you got the guy's arm wrapped around his head, he will push it over his head to escape, and then you just Americana him. Here I'm just holding him down. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I want him to move. I want him to give me something. His elbow is far away from his body. So I'm already looking for the Americana or thinking about it. I'm trying to do it very incrementally, but he's very strong. So here I'm trying to finish it without really grabbing, by just using hand positioning. And he was able to lift his arm out of danger. But that sets up my step over armbar. And what I loved about that is he really didn't even know it was coming, which is what he tells me right here. So catching people by surprise is always fun. But I don't want to have to rely on surprise. At a certain level, you could be obvious and the person still won't be able to stop it. So here he's really doing a bull charge, which gives me the butterfly sweep, and we went into some other people. The more aggressive he comes, the easier it is to butterfly sweep, because he's a big, heavy guy, and it's not easy to roll him over. So here, I have knee next to his hip. That prevents his other legs from coming in. Then he spun me around. And we went out of frame. I'm trying to stay in frame to be more conscious of it. So we're resetting. I got my feet on his, monitoring his knees. I could kick his knee out whenever I feel like it. Here I went for the butterfly hook because he's coming in aggressively. There he slipped one off. And then as he tried to run around, he gave me his back. Unknowingly, of course. And then I just grabbed his collar and rolled him over. And finished with my favorite loop choke. So here, this is a black belt named Vinny, who I've met once or twice at the school. We have different schedules, I believe. Not sure if he's a black belt from the school. I don't really know a lot about him. But he is a black belt, and he's offering advice on how he can resist my loop choke. He also has a math channel on YouTube. Vinny Does Math, I believe it's called. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. I subscribed to it, but I'm subscribed to 700 channels. I'll try to provide a link in the description if anybody needs math help. So the gist of what he's saying is to pull down on my sleeve behind my tricep and near my wrist, and that'll prevent me from tightening the choke. It's easier to defend it that way, and then he can slide under it. So he's showing a defense and an escape. I would have let you hear what he was saying, but there's music on in the background, and YouTube gives me a strike if I play it. So here he's showing the defense. I've seen it before, but any new detail, any little thing that I can learn, I want to pick it up. That ability to become mentally engaged. It's not, jiu-jitsu is not just something you go, it's not a workout class. You know, it could be, but it's more, to me, it's a mental. All the answers are there. You just have to figure them out with your mind. You have to encrypt them into your mind. And then experiment with them on a resisting opponent. So again, just absorbing whatever I can. If a black belt comes over and wants to offer some pointers, I'm all ears. And we don't have a lot of black belts at the school, but I believe there's about 15 out of many students. We have a lot of students. There's black belt Nick in the background. He's with Yaniv. Yaniv is a purple belt. He's going to be in one of my videos soon. He just got his purple belt, and he's really talented. So here I told Vinny about my page. He didn't know he was on video. And hopefully I'll have a video coming out rolling with him as well. So, as you all know, I like to do long rounds. So he came and, we took a break learning from him, and now we're going back to continuing our long round. So there I was able to just push him back with one hand, again, trying to do as little as possible. So I pushed him back and spun him and went to knee on belly with one hand. Here I'm looking for I'm not really looking for anything. It's just a control thing. If I was really looking for something, I would have sat on his head. There, he almost pushed me over. I tried to do a snap down, but he's super, super strong like bull. And now he's just trying to climb me. But his body becomes too angled, and I'm able to resist just by putting my hand on his hip because he's so sideways. And now here I was starting to go to his back, and he realized it and brought his arm back around. And now he's looking to step on my leg, flatten me, pass my guard. But I have two hooks. I have a hook in underneath. This is a good position for me. He's so heavy, it was hard for me to jack him up to sweep him here. And then he overcommitted to the guard pass. He did that before, but this time I didn't let him get it back. So now I'm looking for the collar as usual. I got the bottom hook in. The bottom hook in this position is the most important. You don't even need the top hook. For a tournament, you need both to score, but for control, you really just need the bottom hook. And here he's doing a good job trying to fight off. He tried to do that foot lock because I had my feet crossed, but once I climbed further up on the body, my feet would be crossed, but it would be more near his chest, and that lock wouldn't be available. So here I'm flanking him. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm probably looking for some type of collar choke. Yep. See, once I threatened the collar choke and I switched to the armbar. So he was thinking collar choke, and then the armbar came as a surprise. So here I'm sitting in what I call the swami. I'm letting him grab me. And he swept me. He threw me. He used a ton of strength. But from that, I went right to my triangle, diamond setup, which I have right there. And then I swept him and armbarred him. Sal has the curse of being big and strong, and I think if he studies technique more, he'll see a huge leap in his jiu-jitsu. Because this bull style, it works on a lot of people. They're smaller, maybe they're less skilled, they're not as strong. Then he's going to run right through you. So here again, I'm flanking him. I got to the outside of his arm. I'm feeding myself his collar. Now I have one hand on the mat. I'm trying to see how, what's the least amount I could do and still control him. He's holding on to my right foot, keeping me in quarter guard, but that's not really helping him. There he tried to bump me off, and I went to mount. Well, back mountain, because he spun. I always say, let your opponent spin inside of your legs. Use the can inside a can principle. Oh, and there's the loop choke again. But listen, everyone, thanks for watching. And if you want to support the channel, I have a merch store. You can drop ship Christmas presents from that store if you chose. And I also have a Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you, and please like, and if you haven't already, subscribe.